Well, this is the day that God has made, and truly we rejoice, and are glad in it. We thank God for God's mighty hand, God's loving kindness, and God's tender mercy. We thank God for God's divine orchestration and for bringing us together once again. It's been a while since we've gone live, and this is Reverend LaDonna Sanders and Kosi, and I'm greeting you live from Rwanda with the global cast today. And I want you to just, as people are adding on, can you share this? Share this with your friends, with your neighbors, your your list. I realize in the US it's morning time, and here in Rwanda we're just finishing the day. So we wanted to come on and just share with you what's happening. And I'm really excited to be with you today. We are actually want to greet our Facebook fam on Reverend LaDonna Poetry and Creations. Also, greeting our LinkedIn family, friends, and networks. Greeting you from Rwanda. Yes, I am here. It's so interesting because as I travel globally, I have not always had the access or the internet capabilities to come on live with you. So I'm so excited to announce that we will be doing live from Rwanda with love, and I will be out and about connecting in with you. And we also will have our Global Cast show each week on Wednesday and Thursday. Each episode will be coming out. So I'm super excited about that and just really wanted to come on. Generally, we do the global check in. So if you could just type in where you're checking in from, what city, what town, where you are, it helps us know who is here with us. I'm in Kigali, Rwanda. And I really just wanted to greet you all so much, so many exciting things. And I'm excited about our Global Cast show that'll be coming up very soon. Our next episode and the guests that I will have. So share this. I'm just going to the comments to see if anyone is here. I also want to invite you most definitely to join us. We're very excited. I have a new YouTube show and a new YouTube, and it's at revladonna.global. Now, that's also our website, but please subscribe and share to our YouTube channel, and we would really appreciate that. Yes, so I want to just see who's here. So many things to share on this time. I see some friends are joining us. If you're joining us, if you could just let us know where you're checking in from. Today, we're really checking the technology. I see, wow, we have a brother greeting you. My goodness, from Côte d'Azur, France. And I believe you're on our LinkedIn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to see you. I'm excited about our guests that we're going to have. In fact, today, and let me just tell you a little bit about myself. And my assignment is to build bridges across the water. So I'm so glad to see George from France on the here today. Today I was meeting with an amazing woman from Cape Town, South Africa, and she has a class called Unlearning with the Cornerstone Institute. So we are meeting about that. One of the things I'm working on while I'm here in Rwanda, well, first of all, I just finished my doctoral thesis draft. And so the next step is going to the oral meeting, which I'll be back in Chicago for that. And so now that that's all done, I am organizing these global retreats that we will be having. We will be having them in South Africa, in Rwanda, and also in London. But let me tell you, I have a vision for a gathering in France as well. So we'll look out for that. And these retreats, for many people, you may be meeting me for the first time, but I specialize in refreshment retreats for leaders and people who are doing justice and peace. Um, the sacred text says that times of refreshing come from God's presence. And so many people that are on the front lines of doing peace and justice work, of doing what you're assigned to do in the world, sometimes we get in this mode of burnout, overwhelm, we get disconnected from life giving sources, meeting other people that are life giving. And so, we will be hosting these global retreats. One of the questions I have for today is, where in the world do you want to travel? Where in the world do you want to travel? Where is your dream place? That place is so interesting for me. Rwanda was always a place that I had friends who I met in South Africa, and always a place I thought I would go. And now I'm here. Uh, South Africa was always a place I thought I would go. And now South Africa is a home for me, another place that is dear to my heart. What is and where are the dream places that you would love to travel? I want to hear, I want to know, especially as we are planning these global retreats. I would love to hear that. Well, I just want to check online. Yes, and I want to thank everyone for joining with us. And those who are joining the replay, I want to tell you that we have a new YouTube channel that's up, and it's been really cool because I went to dinner with some of the young people this past weekend, and one of them said, "Well, why don't you have a YouTube channel?" And I pointed her to the Gathering Chicago's channel, and she said, "No, take us around the world with you. We want to hear and see what you're seeing." And I believe this is from Precious Faith. She is the daughter of some dear friends of ours, and she was she's 13, and she's like, "Why don't you have a YouTube channel?" So that day, that night, we recorded a video of our nights out in Kigali, Rwanda, and thus started our YouTube channel. And so I actually spent some time uploading new videos, poetry videos. I had the privilege to speak here in Rwanda at Spoken Word Rwanda, and it's also coming up this next Thursday. So I'm preparing poems for that. But I began to upload videos from this past year. Many of you may know, but I had not traveled like many people, and certainly not traveled globally for over 2.5 years. And in my bridge building assignment, I had done over 12 global trips, mostly between the US and South Africa. And during the pandemic, I was not able to travel. In my prayers, I don't know how it is for you, but when the New Year's comes and many spiritual leaders and others will have these words for the year, or if you pray and you hear God say, "This is how this year is going to go, this is the theme for the year." And in 2021, the theme that I was given was, "This is the year of global travel." Can you imagine that? In 2021, this is the year of global travel. And I just want to tell you, in 2021, especially in January, when we got this word, I was like, there was no global travel. I tried to get a ticket to South Africa. We could not. They were not receiving visitors during that time. And I was just like, okay. So I began to prepare. This is a year of global travel. And in October of 2021, as I began to plan that last quarter of 2021 and look toward 2022, God began to speak to me different cities that I would go. And it was interesting because none of those cities were South Africa. And if you know me, my poems are about South Africa. We have family in South Africa, churches and organizations, and great relationships built in South Africa. So I just knew that's where I'd be going. But the first place that was on the list was London. And so I was like, okay. And the next place that was on the list was Rwanda. And those were two places I had never been. And so I'm happy if you're just joining us to greet you. This is the Global Cast with Reverend LaDonna. This is the pre launch of my new show, Live from Rwanda with Love. And I'm committed in this year, when we go to different destinations, to come on with you and have these shows live from South Africa with love, live from Chicago with love, live from London with love. And generally, you'll be hearing from not just me, but guests that I'll have from the location. And I have upcoming guests from South Africa, from the US, from around the world, as well as you'll be hearing from many of the people here in Rwanda. But I was telling you about the year of global travel and the year that I could not travel. And when 2022 came, how many of you know when you get a vision, it's not for nothing? These visions come, and it's not even just for you. I ended up being in London, and there on the YouTube today, uploaded our London video, and I realized, wow, here I was in a city I'd never been to, speaking words from poems that were given to me, remembering uh, remembering who we are, and singing and having people in London who I just met sing right back the song. It was amazing. And so after that, I went to Rwanda. And since then, this is my third time in Rwanda and had a chance to come here and really dig into my thesis article, Healing Racism from the Inside Out, which I'll be happy to share that with you. We'll be having a series of virtual retreats on healing racism from the inside out, and we also will be providing those for corporations and communities. So look out for that. But listen, I came on to say hello. I've been here since the beginning of the year and haven't come on. I just wanted to greet you from here. I wanted to come outside and greet you. It's always been my dream and vision to be in Africa. I thought it would be South Africa only, but then God has a whole world out here for us, to connect, to build relationships, um, to collaborate. And so I am here in Rwanda and uh, am happy about that. I want to just announce to you again, to please connect with us. If you want to stay in connection with our mailing list, you can contact Global Team at revladonna.global. Let's see. You can follow us on Facebook at Reverend LaDonna's Poetry and Creations. But you'll want to just go ahead and join our mailing list if you want to stay updated on where we'll be in the world, also what global retreats we're hosting, and also how you can invite us to do a virtual or in person Healing Racism from the Inside Out retreat. So I'm looking for people's comments and any questions, but today I just wanted to come on and greet you, make sure the technology is in order because we'll begin to have our guests on. I'll also be, I hope to be going live from on location. So look out for that, um, either on my Instagram, on my LinkedIn, on our new YouTube channel, which I hope you will connect with us there. And when you join our mailing list, then you'll get all the updates. So this is all I have. I don't really see any questions, though I really just asked you all, where is your dream place to go? So I'll be talking about dreams. Um, and not really the dreams we have when we're sleeping at night, though those are important, but I'm talking about the dreams that you had when you were a young person, or a dream that kept pulling at you. For me, at this time in my life, I'm really honoring the dreams that God has given me. You know, Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa, he wrote an amazing book called God Has a Dream. And it really informed me, because basically what he talks about is that the dreams that you have, that the thing that you have, I meet people all the time, you know, and they'll say, well, I really feel called to build housing for children, or I really feel called, like me, I feel called to have these global retreats because I meet all these amazing people doing transformative work in the world, and a lot of times they're tired and burnt out. So I kept feeling this call to have these retreats. And during COVID-19, we had retreats online because we could not retreat in person. And that period of not being able to travel really had me to think about, wow, what if we can, when we travel again, where can we go? And I began to see places, of course, South Africa, here, Rwanda, London, and also in Chicago, we'll be hosting a retreat as well. Um, my point is, what is your dream? And that's why my YouTube channel is called Living the Dream with Reverend LaDonna Sanders and Kosi. And I'll be journeying, not just living my dream, which is important. I've taken responsibility for that, and that's what this year is all about, just leaning into the dreams and visions that God has given me, because the world is crying out for them. And my thesis, or what I know to be true, is the dreams that are in your hearts have been put there for a reason. So many of my guests will hear how they're living out their vision, living out their dreams. And so that'll be a focus. But what I want to say before I close today, because it is African American observance, heritage observance, remembrance. I call it celebration. Um, and one of the things I was thinking about, because for me, my call is really around. I actually received a call to ministry when I visited the King Center for Nonviolent Social Change in Atlanta. And so, whenever it's Dr. King's birthday, or we're remembering Coretta Scott King and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and people talk about his dream, and that I have a dream speech. And I don't know about you, but at one point in my life, people would kind of diminish that, you know, and say, well, you know, all people talk about is a dream. But if you really read that and listen to it and think about the courageousness of speaking about something that no one could see or believe in, and expect that it would come to pass. Um, and so that's what I love. This is a time and a season where our forerunners, whether it be Mandela, Rosa Parks, Ida B. Wells, Sojourner Truth, those people we know and those we don't know, or whose names are not always spoken. But I love the story about, in our global retreat, we'll be visiting and going through the footsteps of President Nelson Mandela and others who are a part of the South African freedom and liberation movements. And when you go to Robben Island, there was a person who was there who tours you around. He was there during the time that they were held captive there. And he talks about how they wrote their constitution, what is now their freedom charter. They wrote it in little bits of papers. And sometimes he kept saying they would put it on the wall. But get this, they were in captivity, held unjustly, in a situation that saw them as subhuman. And yet they could organize and envision not only being free, but a whole government and society where there were free elections, where there's a freedom charter. And for us, that's what this time is all about. Our forerunners who could foresee beyond the circumstances that they were in. So, on my Wednesday program, a global cast, I call it Great Vision Wednesday. We'll be looking at, and I'll be asking you, what is the dream you have? What is the vision that God has given you for this time? Because the world is waiting and the world is crying out for it. So, today I didn't come on to preach, but that is the word. And so many of you, you have something burning, or I won't say burning, but your heart is warm when an issue comes up. Or I always say, when I remember things would come on the television. I'm from a small town in Missouri. I went to University of Missouri for journalism school. After that, I worked at Syracuse University, and I remember when we would have speakers, and the speakers would talk about India, or they could be talking about any global place. I remember one time in Chicago at McCormick, there this wonderful professor. She was actually at the Catholic Theological Union, and she began to tell her story about mission work in England, which was not a place I was called to go, but I sat there and I cried the entire time. Come, come to find out, she was doing work or living in South Africa during the South African Liberation Movement. She was living in Lesotho, and those tears, I resonated with everything she was saying. And years later, I would find myself in those places. And so, what I'm saying is, this is what Global Cast will be about this year, living the dream. Our retreats will be about helping you to remove the blocks to live into what you're here for. And we will have guests to come on to share with us their journey, to inspire, to share with us their blueprint as we all live into this together. So, this is Reverend LaDonna Sanders and Kosi, coming to you live from Rwanda with love. And I'm looking forward to connecting with you. I want to thank you for sharing with us on today's Global Cast. We would love to hear from you. So, again, invite you to join our mailing list if you're so interested at global team at revladonna.global. Just send us your email. If you'd like to share with us your mobile, and definitely share with us your country and city, we would love that. And that is all I have for you today. So I want to encourage you to be encouraged. Encourage somebody today. Encourage yourself. Let me encourage you. And just thank you. I want to give thanks for everybody that's praying with us on this journey. And we have a list of cities we will be. Hopefully, we will be where you are. And we're also available for speaking, as well as our virtual and in person healing racism retreat. So you can connect with us there as well. Well, that's all for today. God bless you. God loves you. And we will see you again.